The AFCON 2025 has come and gone. I just want to talk about Morocco. I was full of praise for Morocco for the investments they've made in football, the stadiums they've built, hosting tournaments, organizing tournaments. I was full of praise for Morocco, you know. But then you come to realize watching that final game, the highlights of the final game, you come to realize that you know you can have all the money in the world, you can make much investment in football and all that, but that may not stop you from doing things that are dumb. You know, yeah, the final game, there's been a lot of criticism for Senegal. That Senegal walked out of the pitch. They've been criticized, and yeah, for walking out of the pitch. Later, they came back. For walking out, we could criticize Senegal. But Senegal went through a lot, and that walking out was just to show their frustration. It wasn't just the game. Before the game, they've had complaints. They made a list of several complaints, you know, from travel arrangements to where they will lodge. There are several complaints by the Senegalese national team about how poorly they were treated. And we saw the videos when they arrived at the train station and all of that, you know. So they were, they had a lot of complaints before the game. Then during the game, it was obvious that Morocco was being favored. As it happened in Nigeria's game, it was obvious that Morocco was being favored and decisions were just going against Senegal. And when the Moroccan players were being disorderly, they were not really being cautioned, you know. So Senegal had a lot. They had a lot. And when they had to walk out of the pitch, it had gotten to a level where they could not take it. Thank God for Sadio Mane, who was able to convince them to get back, and complete the game. Because if that had not happened, that would have implied that they were forfeiting the game. But that was forestalled, and they came back, and we saw all that played out. So Senegal, they had justifiable reasons to walk out, and if they had not walked out, probably they would not have won that game. Because if there is a penalty decision and there's so much delay in taking the penalty, it affects the psychology of the person that will take the penalty. If you have so much time to think about how you are going to take the penalty, if you overthink it, then you end up playing how Ibrahim Diaz played that penalty, trying a peneka, and it went horribly wrong. Morocco did a number of dumb things, even in that game. Watch the clip of how they were taking away the towels of the Senegalese goalkeeper. The same thing they did to the Nigerian goalkeeper, Stanley Nwabali. They were taking his towels. The same thing they did with what was his name? Mendy, the keeper of Senegal. And that was shameful, it was disgraceful, you know. A sports journalist with Channels Television, Austin, said that the Moroccans, North Africans, that they are always afraid of West African and juju. So there's this belief that the keeper, that towel would have juju inside, and that really didn't make any sense. As far as I'm concerned, that was really dumb, because let's say they put juju in the first tower, right? The tower that it came with. As they were taking the towels one after the other, one after the other, is it possible that all the towels will have that juju they're talking about? Usually, if somebody is doing juju, right? They will Someone is doing juju. What we usually know is that there will be something that the person has in his possession. It's not a towel. It has to be something else. You know, if at all, if there is anything, right? You could say, oh, maybe the towel he brought ab initio. Maybe there's something. But as you took away the first towel, took away the second towel. Common sense would have told you that whatever was there has left. Goalkeepers are entitled to having a towel, and they use it. They use it to clean their gloves, use it to clean sweat and all of that. It's what all goalkeepers do. It is not typical of a West African goalkeeper. It's what all goalkeepers do. And even Morocco goalkeeper would also need one. And so what made it more pathetic? Let's say the fans were being overzealous. Let's say fans were being overzealous in that. If it was a fan person that climbed and did that, that would have been different. This wasn't just fans. You have ball boys. People that are supposed to be picking balls, they were picking goalkeepers' towels. And when they saw that there was a Moroccan reserve keeper who stood to ensure that the towel was not taken, they were dragging the person. So if people who were assigned to assist in officiating the game join in taking towels of a goalkeeper, it now implies that it was an organized thing. It was organized by the officials, Moroccan officials overseeing the game. It was organized by them. To the point that even Moroccan players were taking part. More than one Moroccan player were taking part in taking out those towels. Even Hakimi, who I saw with the captain's badge, professional player, was taking part in that theft of an opposing goalkeeper's towels. That was disgraceful. And it's shocking and unnecessary. Last World Cup, Morocco went up to the semi-final. Was it because they had anything extra that they were using? Their opponents, they didn't use any juju. If you could get up to the semi-final of last World Cup and you got up to the final of a African Nations Cup, it means you have quality. You have the players, you have the coach, you have all it takes. You have home advantage, home turf. You have all it takes to win. There was no need for shenanigans. There was no need for trying to disrupt the opposing team's travel arrangements or hotel arrangement. There was no need for that. There was no need to be stealing the opposing players' towels. It shows an inferior complex. Really, it shows an inferiority complex that you have a competition and you don't think you are good enough to stand an opponent on level terms. You don't